Okay, so a little bit more progress. I decided to not work on the battery idea and not expand the level because I am just really good at staying on track. Anyway, what I did is I started on the dialogue, the system that allows the player to interact with the robot. So right now I do not have a robot sprite, I don't have a robot object, but what I do have is a dialogue manager. During this time, I also added the game pause functionality. So in game, you can just press escape, pause the game, or not. I need to do this because while being in dialogue, you're not going to be able to move your character. You're just going to be able to progress the dialogue, like pressing space or enter. So, pretty much, this is all it is. It is messy. It's going to be bad, but that's okay. It's good enough for now. I'm not sure how much dialogue I'm going to have. It's just going to be certain things trigger certain dialogue. And this is just a random size for now. I didn't want to think about making it actually good. I also need to fix that dialogue flags up. And then I need to fix all the dialogue flag things in here. 1 sec here. Otherwise, this is not going to work. Okay, we're good. Anyway, so what happens is every set of dialogue has an ID, a dialogue ID, and a flag. So it has a number associated with it and a flag to show if it's done. If it's 0, that means the dialogue has not been dealt with. If it's 1, it means we've gone through it already. And dialogue progress, which doesn't really matter. Anyway, we have dialogue lines, current line, and dialogue text. This I probably don't need dialogue text. I could probably just do dialogue lines and the current line we're on. But I did this because I'm going quick. Anyway, so if the game is not paused and the current ID is not -1, -1 means there's currently no dialogue supposed to be happening. So if we have dialogue queued up, essentially, then we check the flag. Is that dialogue that's been queued up been dealt with or not? If it hasn't, meaning if the flag is 0, then we are now in dialogue. We're going at it. We're chilling. Now, we only ever set this through a death checkpoint. So for checkpoint 1, when the player dies, we set the dialogue to option 1. And then we'll go through that. And it'll be sick. It'll be fun. And we'll go through it. Now, if we do it again, it won't trigger the dialogue because we'll set the flag to 1. Otherwise, if we have dealt with it, we get rid of that flag, forgot a semicolon, and we exit the rest of the loop. Or not the loop, just the conditions. So, if it's not -1, we'll check what it is and set the dialogue lines to it. So the intro dialogue, hey, you look new here, not much to do here, and that whole thing, telling you to die. Anyway, we'll set it to that. It'll be sick, it'll be fun, and we'll set the dialogue to that. Case 1 is different stuff. So, check if dialogue is done. So, if the current line of dialogue is greater than the amount of lines we have here, it's done. And then dialogue flag, we set the ID to 1, saying we completed it. We exit the dialogue by setting in dialogue to false, and dialogue ID gets set to nothing. These kind of do the same thing, but I'd rather in dialogue be true or false instead of doing a check to not 1, or doing a check to not equals -1. Doesn't matter. Anyway, current line equals 0, and we do that. Otherwise, dialogue text equals dialogue lines current line. We just get which line we're on and get the string. The player advances the dialogue. So, if the game isn't paused and we're not in dialogue, we do everything we would before. Otherwise, if we are in dialogue, we can press space or enter and we move the current dialogue line forwards. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you how it runs. The text right now is just displayed right there. It's not actually pretty. It doesn't have any dialogue box, text box or anything. So if we press space, there's text there. It's also too big. Obviously, I know that. It says, "Hey, you look new here." We can't move. I'm pressing the movement arrow keys. Nothing works. But I press space. Not much to do here. Might as well die. That whole thing. Press space again. Go do it. nothing else to do, and then you can go die. I'll need to remove this thing here because they could go in there and die, and that doesn't trigger the dialogue. Anyway, yeah, you can go die. And then once we die, wait, you're back. And then we go through this whole thing. And we can go into here. So that's essentially going to be how the robot talks to you. Like if I go back in here, nothing's really going to happen. See, like there's no dialogue that was triggered, but we did close the door. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be how it works. I'm pretty proud of this so far. I think it worked pretty well. I think it's going to be relatively easy to expand. We just add more dialogue stuff in the switch statement and just certain triggers, set it to play it. And it will set it to play it every time, but if we've already gone through it, we don't go through it twice. There's one dialogue option that I'm not sure how I want to do, and it's when you first die to a ghost, because you might die to a ghost inside a checkpoint that has another dialogue that it's supposed to play, and only one of those will end up going through, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I might just not do an initial ghost death dialogue, but yeah, that's that. I think it's going pretty good. I think that's most of the main mechanics done, honestly, or for at least how they function, and yeah, that's about it.